iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FullTimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto, get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's take a look at last night's game between the Lions and the Packers. Look, I feel very badly. I feel very badly for the Lions. I think the Lions are doing everything right. I think the Lions are doing everything right. They are playing smart football. I think Matt Patricia has turned this team around, but we're just not seeing the results. And I think that the referees really, took this game from them. I mean, how do you call these illegal hands to the face? I get you want the Packers to win. Is that what it is? That's what it feels like. It feels like the referees have an vested interest in what's going on here. You never want to feel that way. Fans never want to feel that way. So it's very disappointing. You're a Lions fan today. You feel you should have won that game. You do. You feel you should have won that game. Matthew Stafford played very well, 265 yards, no touchdowns, but he played well. Kerryon Johnson didn't have a great game, but it was a good enough game. You've got to just run the ball. The Packers defense is good. Packers defense is much better this year. So Johnson gets his touchdown and gets 34 yards rushing. It's 27 receiving, but Kenny Golladay was the star. 5 catches for 121 yards, including that big one in the beginning of the game. If you had TJ Hawkinson, I think the over-under in receiving yards is 20 yards. You got 21, so that's going to make you a little nauseous there if you had the under. And where was Marvin Jones? 2 for 17? I mean, come on. You're Marvin Jones. People drafted you in round 8 or 9. You need to do better than that. I don't own any Marvin Jones for this reason, because I don't trust this dude. For Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers just looked like a different player in the second half. 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones fumbled, he dropped a pass, and I get nervous right now with Jamal Williams. I do. I think Jamal Williams is a big part of this offense. If you own Aaron Jones today, you can't be happy with what you saw. You cannot be happy. So it's disconcerting to see that Aaron Jones, who just had 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys a week ago, is like second fiddle now. That's all I can say. Alan Lazard, look, let's not go crazy. This guy is there because Davante Adams isn't. Geronimo Allison didn't do much. Valdez-Scantling didn't do much. Look, this is a Davante Adams team, and I think we learned that. Without Adams, Aaron Rodgers will throw to whomever. When Adams is there, he will throw to Davante Adams. That's what he does. All right, let's take a look at some injury news and some news of the day. N'Keal Harry, here's a name for somebody because he's going to be coming back soon, or he's going to be available to come out soon. N'Keal Harry, he returned to practice. So, look, I don't know what to expect, but there probably is a role for him. If Philip Dorsett is not 100% because he's been dealing with a hamstring and Josh Gordon is dealing with a knee, maybe N'Keal Harry is a guy that we want to look at. I'm not saying he's a guy I really like that much, but I'm just throwing it out there for you. I know I picked out Rashard Higgins last week. Freddie Kitchens mentioned that he didn't play that much. I wouldn't read too much into it. I think this guy will get his opportunities. Antonio Callaway stinks. So this is just a referendum on Freddie Kitchens. Higgins good, Callaway bad. If you don't realize that, maybe you shouldn't be coaching in the NFL. Okay? Cam Newton, look, I think people may have dropped Cam Newton because I probably told them to drop Cam Newton. And I think Cam Newton is somebody that you may want to just stash. Who knows what's going to happen when he's ready to return from his foot injury. Kyle Allen has played pretty well. Panthers are off next week. Then they get San Francisco the week after that. I don't know, Cam Newton, week 9. I think week 8 is a really good week to put in Kyle Allen. And I hate to say this, he either sinks or swims. If he swims, you say to everybody, I got to go with him because he just beat the undefeated 49ers. If they get trounced, well, Allen's not that good. Cam's our quarterback. So it's a win-win situation. That's how I would probably look at it if I'm Ron Rivera. But hey, I'm not Ron Rivera. So let's take a look at the waiver wire. We'll call this waiver wire Tuesday. You know how we operate. Let me give you some quarterbacks that I want you guys thinking about. Firstly, Josh Allen. I assume he's not out there, but if somebody in your league decided to drop him before the bye week, you pick up Josh Allen right now. He's got a tremendous, tremendous schedule, and you want to own him, okay? So let's see. I'm going to get it up right here. They've got Miami, Philadelphia, you can throw on them, Washington, Cleveland, Miami. I mean, is there a better next 5 games than that? No. You get Josh Allen, and you start him, okay? Take a look at Sam Darnold. I assume that he may not be out. He may be available in some leagues as well because people didn't like how he looked. He was sick. He wasn't playing. The Jets sucked, blah, blah, blah. Take a look at Darnold. He's somebody I want to own. And then finally, just play Tannehill. That's right, our guy, Ryan Tannehill. They haven't made it definite yet, but I'd like to think it's coming pretty soon. Ryan Tannehill is better than Marcus Mariota, who is awful, and Tannehill should have an opportunity to lead the Titans. If the Titans want to get to the playoffs, it's not going to be with Marcus Mariota. Let me tell you that right now. So you have to see what Tannehill could do. If Tannehill's legit, then maybe he lasts the season. Okay. At running back, there are no names of starters out there. There are guys that we can stash. Firstly, I'm convinced that Alexander Madison will win somebody a fantasy league. If he's out there in your league, you get him right now. Dalvin Cook is awesome, but God forbid Dalvin Cook gets injured, you want Alexander Madison. That guy scores 20 points a week. Book it. Chase Edmonds. Every week I tell you to pick up Chase Edmonds. Every week, I don't know if he's still out there in your league, you get him, you stash him. David Johnson's doing well, but is he going to last another 9 weeks? I don't know. I kind of doubt it, so I want Chase Edmonds. How about Mark Walton? Mark Walton was very present for the Dolphins last week. And we talked about this. I believe we talked about Mark Walton at some point. Mark Walton had a lot of opportunities last week. So let me give you the box score here so you see it. Mark Walton, I think, had 6 carries and 5 receptions. That's 11 touches. Kenyon Drake had 16 touches. He had 11. Kalen Ballage had 3. So what does that tell you? It tells you that Mark Walton is somebody you want to pick up. Now, a couple of stashes. How about Gus Edwards? God forbid Mark Ingram gets hurt. You've got Gus Edwards. How about Benny Snell? Right? Benny Snell is a good one. Right? If James Conner is injured or is not playing because Jalen Samuels is out for a month, Benny Snell looked pretty good against the Chargers. Okay. At wide receiver, I have some better names for you. I won't say they're great names, but I think they're better. Firstly, there's Anthony Miller. People were very upset with Anthony Miller. He's been horrible most of the year. He really has. However, in his last game in England, he showed something. Okay? He showed something. He had, 4 passes for 52 yards, and he had 7 targets. Prior to this, it had been 1, 1, 3, 3. Now it was at 7. That's a good sign. This guy's got skills. New Orleans, not very good against a slot receiver. This could be a matchup for him. Okay? Take a look. Adam Humphries. If Tannehill gets the job, I like Adam Humphries because he's a reliable receiver and Tannehill will go to him because he will trust him. I think he's interesting. Albert Wilson is another guy, much like Humphries, much like Miller, a slot guy. He had 5 targets last week, or he had 5 receptions last week. So it only was 15 yards, but 5 receptions means they're looking for him. He's going to have better days than that. Trust me. So I like those guys. Now a couple of guys I'm looking to hedge bets on. Firstly, Zay Jones. I think Zay Jones is too good to sit. Hunter Renfrow is a better slot receiver. I think Tyrell Williams will be there, and I think Zay Jones will be the other starter. It's a question of when. Will it be this week? I don't know. Will it be next week? Maybe. It will happen soon, and he's a talented player. And take a look at Miles Boykin. You know, I watched a little bit about that game against the Bengals. He just is looking a little bit better to me. I don't know. He was running more fluidly. Maybe the Bengals suck. I'm willing to buy into that as well. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, at tight end, here's a few names. One, Chris Herndon. He'll be back this week. He had a great rapport with Sam Darnold previously, right? He had a very good rapport with Sam Darnold, and then he came back, and then all of a sudden he had a hamstring injury. He's back this week. I like him. How about Darren Fells? Have you seen this dude? This dude is gigantic. He's like 6'7", 260, and Deshaun Watson's looking for him. He's a big target, and in a standard league, I like him. I do. Now, Will Dissly is out for the season, so the Seahawks brought back Luke Wilson. Look, I don't know whether it's a comfort level. I'm sure it's a comfort level for Russell Wilson, but look, comfort level is still good. He knows Luke Wilson. He made Wilson to Wilson, could get you a couple of touchdowns in a standard league only. Okay? And finally, let me give you one more name, Dallas Goedert. I love Dallas Goedert. I've always been a fan. I think he may be on a couple of waiver wires because people have said he hasn't done that much. Well, look, he's literally one injury away from being a star. And let me throw something out here. Do you know that Hunter Henry is the 17th tight end of the season in PPR formats? He's outscored O.J. Howard, T.J. Hawkinson, Eric Ebron, and he's played 2 games. So what does that tell you? That tells you that tight end, there's a dearth of production at tight end. So, you know what? Maybe Dallas Goedert's not good this minute, but maybe he will be. Right? Maybe he will be. Let me give you some more nuggets over here. Scott Atkins sent this out. I thought they were interesting. Let's see. The Vikings and Patriots each allowed their first wide receiver 1 game of the season in week 6, meaning Alshon Jeffrey and Golden Tate both had big weeks. Unusual, right? Do you know who had the running back with the best performance this year against the Patriots? You'll never guess. Frank Gore. Frank Gore. Interesting. Who the Patriots get next week? Le'Veon Bell. That's a tough matchup. Do you start Bell against the Patriots? Well, of course you start him, but what are your expectations of Bell? They've got to be muted, right? They've got to be muted. All right, some easy fantasy schedules moving forward. Well, Scott says in these nuggets here, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Oakland, the Jets, obviously after the next couple of weeks, and the Giants. Saquon Barkley is going to come back this week, and you know who he gets to play? He gets to play a team you've heard of who sucks. The Cardinals. That's right. Saquon will have a big week. Oh, and Evan Engram will have a week. If he's back, Evan Engram scores. I would think Rhett Ellison scores. I don't know. Anybody who's ever played Mark Bavaro scores. Anybody who played tight end for the Giants will score. Okay. So, a couple things I want to alert you to. First of all, check out fulltimefantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. Secondly, you know we're appearing on Sports Illustrated now, so go to si.com/fantasy. I'm working on my Start Sit article. I'll have it out late tonight. It should be up tomorrow. So you get your first opportunity to see the players that I like for this coming week. And there are a couple of guys there who I like a lot. Okay? So head to the waiver wire. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. We'll talk about strategy and some news and things like that. Remember, we don't want to spend too much money too soon because then we won't have it later when we need it. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. This is Dr. Roto saying be well, take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.